जय राधा गिरिधारी श्री राधे। जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So we may begin. Again, I've seen so many people joining now. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam session today. We will be reading from Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita. Can everyone see my screen here?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, if I'm right, are we to start from here? Prabhupada spoke little.
Yes, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we begin our reading from Srila Prabhupada spoke little, making his way along the path as if at his own home. They stopped beside the creek, and Prabhupada sat down on a blanket. Kirtanananda Swami and Haigriva spread for him on the grass. We are stopping for Kirtanananda, Prabhupada said. He's tired. Prabhupada and his party drank water from the creek, rested briefly, and then continued. As they rounded a curve in the road, Prabhupada could see a clearing on the ridge ahead. A small frame house and a barn stood at a lower end of the ridge. These two ancient structures, Hayagriva explained, were the only buildings in New Vrindavan's 120 acres. As no vehicles traveled here, the paths were overrun with high grass. A willow spread its branches close by the old house. The settlement was the picture of undisturbed primitive life. Prabhupada liked the simple life at New Vrindavan. Whatever simple things the devotees offered him, he accepted with satisfaction. They served him freshly ground wheat cereal cooked in milk, and he said it was wonderful. When he saw the kitchen's dirt floor covered with cow dung, he approved, saying it was just like in an Indian village. Prabhupada also liked his room in the attic, directly above the temple room. He brought out the small Radha Krishna deities he had been traveling with for the last month and a half, and had his servant Devananda improvise an altar on a small table to one side of the room. Arranging his two trunks as a desk and placing a picture of his spiritual master on one of the trunks, Prabhupada immediately resumed his usual schedule. He would take his late morning massage sitting outside and then bathe with warm water in an improvised outdoor shower stall. Kirtananda Swami prepared Prabhupada's usual lunch of dal, rice, and chapatis, plus some local pork wheat. The previous summer, Kirtananda Kirtanananda Swami and Hayagriva had picked and canned blackberries, which they now served Prabhupada as blackberry chutney. The chapatis were from freshly milled whole wheat, and everything was cooked over a wood fire. The best fuel for cooking, Prabhupada said, was cow dung. Wood was second, gas third, and electricity last. Prabhupada spent much of the day out of doors under the persimmon tree had about 100 feet from the house. There he would sit and read at a low table one of the men had built. Often he would look up from his reading and gaze across the deep valley to the distant ridge where the forest met the sky. In the late afternoon, devotees would gather under the persimmon tree with Prabhupada, sitting and talking with him until after sunset. They saw Prabhupada's living with them as a practical demonstration of New Vrindavan's importance. If he, the greatest devotee, could be satisfied living simply and chanting Hare Krishna in the backwoods setting, then they should follow his example. Comparing New Vrindavan to the Vrindavan in India, Prabhupada said that New Vrindavan was in some ways better, since Vrindavan, India, was now congested with worldly men. 500 years ago, the Goswami followers of Lord Chaitanya had excavated the sites of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. The only pure devotees had lived there. But in recent years, Vrindavan had become a place for materialists and impersonalists. New Vrindavan, however, should admit only the spiritually inclined. In Vedic society, Prabhupada said everyone had been satisfied to live like this in a small village beside a river. Factories were unnecessary. Prabhupada wanted this Vedic way of life for the entire world, and New Vrindavan should serve as a model for the benefit of the masses. New Vrindavan had no phone, and mail had to be fetched by a 2-mile walk. In this, Prabhupada said, New Vrindavan was like Vrindavan, India. Both Vrindavanas lacked in modern amenities. This difficulty, however, coupled well with the Vaishnava philosophy that modern amenities were not worth the trouble required to get them. A devotee, accepting whatever nature provides, spends his time and energy in spiritual life. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It was so wonderful reading the locations and how Srila Prabhupada has maintained simple living. So we'll begin with reading our Srimad Bhagavatam, which is chapter Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam हृदयन्तस्तो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. So we are reading from Canto 5, Chapter 4, verse number 1. This is the first verse of Chapter 4. I don't know the meter of this, so I will just try and recite as I can. Shri Shuka Uvacha Athata Athaham Tam व्यज्यमाना भगवल् लक्षणं संयोपशमा वैराग्यैश्वर महाविभूतिभिर् अनुदिनम् एधं मानानुभावं प्रकृतया प्रजब्रह्मणा देवतश्चावनीतलः समवानायातितरं जग्रधु अथः तम् उत्पत्त्यैवाभिव्यज्यमान लक्षणं साम्योपशमा वैराग्य ऐश्वरा महाविभूतिभिर् अनुदिनम् एधमानानुभावं प्रकृत्य प्रजब्रह्मणा देवतश्चावनीतल समन्वयातितरां जग्रधु अतः तम् उत्पत्त्यैवाभिव्यजमान भगवत् लक्षणं संयोपशम वैराग्यै ऐश्वरा महाविभूतिभिर् अनुदिनम् एधमानानुभावं प्रकृतया प्रजब्राह्मणा देवताश्चावनीतला समवनायातितरं जग्रधु. Is there anyone who would want to recite this?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I am trying to recite.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Ataha tama utpottoi vyadhi vajyamano bhagaval lakshanam sammo posamo vairagyeshwarya mahabhutivir anudinam edadhanu mananubhavam prakritayah praja brahmana devataschavani talo samavanaya titarama jagridhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
श्रीशुक उवाच अथ हतम् उत्पत्त्यैवाभिव्यज्यमान भगवल्लक्षणं साम्य उपशम वैराग्यैश्वर्य महाविभूतिभिर् अनुदीनमेधमानानुभावं प्रकृतयः प्रजा ब्राह्मणा देवताश्चावनीतल समवनायातितरां जगृदुः. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. So beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else? Hare Krishna Mataji.
अतः तमोत्पत्त्याभिव्याजमान भगवल्लक्षणं साम्योपश्म वैरागे शौर्यमहाविभूति धीरुनोदिन् मेघमालानुभावं प्रकृत्या प्रजा ब्राह्मणा देवताश्च चावनितुल समवनाय पितरां जगृधु.
Hare Krishna, Vita, Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Shri Sukhuvacha Athaha tam utpatyai vabhivayai jayaman bhagavad lakshanam samyopasham vairagyaishvarya maha vibhuti anudinam एदहं मानानुभावं प्रकृत्या प्रजा ब्राह्मणा देवतश्चैवानि तलसम्मावानया याति तत्र मे जगृद. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So we can move to synonyms and translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So synonyms. Sri Shukha Uvacha. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, Athaha, thus, after the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared, him, Utpattaya, from the beginning of his appearance, Eva, even, Abhivyajyamana, distinctly manifested, Bhagavat Lakshanam, possessing the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Samya, equal to everyone, Upashama, completely peaceful, in control of the senses and mind, Vairagya, renunciation, Aishwarya, opulences, Mahavibhuti Bhi, with great attributes, Anudinam, day after day, Edhamana, increasing, Anubhavam, his power, Prakritayaha, the ministers, Prajaha, the citizens, Brahmana, the learned scholars in full knowledge of Brahman, Devataha, the demigods, Cha, and Avanitala, the surface of the globe, Samanvanaya, Vanaya, to rule, Atitaram, greatly, and Jagraduhu, desired. Translation. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, as soon as the Lord was born as the son of Maharaj Nabhi, he manifested symptoms of the Supreme Lord, such as marks on the bottom of his feet, the flag, thunderbolt, etc. This son was equal to everyone and very peaceful. He could control his senses and his mind, and possessing all opulence, he did not hanker for material enjoyment. Endowed with all these attributes, the son of Maharaj Nabhi became more powerful day after day. Due to this, the citizens, learned brahmanas, demigods, and ministers wanted Rishabdev to be appointed ruler of the earth. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In these days of cheap incarnation, it is very interesting to note the bodily symptom found in an incarnation. From the very beginning of his birth, it was observed that Rishabdev's feet were marked with the transcendental signs, a flag, thunderbolt, lotus flower, etc. In addition to this, as the Lord began to grow, he became very prominent. He was equal to everyone. He did not favor one person and neglect another. An incarnation of God must have the six opulences: wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, fame, and renunciation. It is said that although Rishabdev was endowed with all opulences, he was not at all attached to material enjoyment. He was self controlled and therefore liked by everyone. Due to his super excellent qualities, everyone wanted him to rule the earth. An incarnation of God has to be accepted by experienced people and by the symptoms described in the Shastras. An incarnation is not accepted simply by the adulation of foolish people. I'll stop sharing the screen. So before we begin, we'll just do some prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले Srimate Bir Krishnadas Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, Sri Shukadev Goswami said, as soon as, I'm just reading the translation one more time. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, as soon as the Lord was born as the son of Maharaj Nabhi, he manifested symptoms of the Supreme Lord, such as marks on the bottom of his feet, the flag, thunderbolt, etc. This son was equal to everyone and very peaceful. He could control his senses and mind, and possessing all opulence, he did not hanker for material enjoyment. Endowed with all these attributes, the son of Maharaj Nabhi became more powerful day by day. Due to this, the citizens, learned brahmanas, demigods, and ministers wanted Rishabdev to be appointed ruler of the earth. So we are on chapter 4, where in chapter 3, Rishabdev appeared, the Lord appeared, and because the Lord gave benediction to King Nabhi, and the Lord was pleased. And since the Lord was pleased, he probably, their wish was, King Nabhi and Queen Meru's wish was to have a son just like him. So, like him can't be a combination of godly qualities and human qualities. So, God has to come. So, therefore, the Lord in the previous chapter, from verses 16 to 20, he mentions that he will expand as Nabhi's son. So, since King Nabhi had prayed to have a son like me, and I am the supreme person without a second. So there's no second person that Krishna or the Lord can send. In any case, because you are all qualified brahmanas and as good as my own mouth, your words should not prove untrue. Therefore, I shall personally appear in my plenary portion. And then the Lord appeared as Rishabdev, the son of Meru Devi, for he was satisfied with those great sages and he wanted to exhibit. Why did he appear? Because he wanted to exhibit the method of executing religious principles and also Maharaj Nabhi's desire. So in Bhagavad Gita, we've always we have learned it that wherever there is irreligiosity, Krishna appears then. So his first reason for appearing here is to execute religious principles and to show and exhibit the method of executing religious principles, which is Varanashrama, and also satisfy Maharaj Nabhi's desires. So in this chapter, we'll be reading about the characteristics of Rishabdev. And who's this Rishabdev? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the first verse basically talks about the qualities of Lord Rishabdev, and the next 2-3 verses also are the same. Qualities, Rishabdev's qualities are distinctly manifested. The symptoms manifested as the symptoms of the Supreme Lord. For example, he has Bhagavat Lakshanam. So Bhagaval Lakshanam in the text it says. Bhagaval Lakshanam means possessing the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. when he was born. So day by day, his qualities, his powers, his detachment, sense control, and equal vision increased. And due to this, everyone wanted him to rule the earth. So here, Lord is born now. And how can we recognize the qualities of a bona fide God? So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada's first sentence is, in these days of cheap incarnation, it's very interesting to note the bodily symptoms around in an incarnation. And by the end of the text, an incarnation is not accepted simply by the adulation of foolish people. So from Shastras, and Sadhu, we have learned that because of the Shastra and Sadhu, we can know the bona fide symptoms. And the Shastric evidence tells that Krishna, in all, if we actually talk about Krishna's opulences, if we talk about Krishna's qualities, it will take multiple days actually to finish or to even complete those qualities. But with the limited time and effort that we can put, we can see that Krishna, first of all, Srila Prabhupada here is telling us to read the scriptures scrutinizingly to understand that how important it is to go by the shastric evidence of knowing who the Lord is and what are his symptoms. And therefore, the first sentence is giving us an instruction to study. It is giving an instruction for us to study the Shastras or the scriptures scrutinizingly. So Srila Prabhupada has put very harsh words, plus very interestingly, he has said that how the bodily symptoms of the incarnations are misunderstood and misinterpreted in the present day. So in one of the classes, Srila Prabhupada also mentioned how God can be recognized and how human can be recognized. So this is Bengali saying that, I don't know if I'm wrong here, so I may be not pronouncing correctly, but please forgive me for that. So the Bengali saying says that Thakura Chinna Charana and Manusya Chinna Marana. So if to know the Lord, we will, to know the Lord, the lotus feet, the reading of the lotus feet and the signs of those, the signs of the lotus feet is the certification or the certification, probably, what should we say, I don't know here, is the authentic way of seeing the Lord, basically. And how would you know that a human being, a true human being, can be recognized? By the way he dies. So in all the avatars we have read all through in Srimad Bhagavatam, also Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Lord's signs of bodily features were mentioned. And most importantly, we've always come to know about the lotus feet of the Lord. And there are various signs and signals. Also, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 10th canto mostly, we also see that when the Lord kept his feet on the land of Vrindavan, on the dust of Vrindavan, those signs were visible, and everyone could see those signs and would run after God, after the Lord. So here we see that the qualities of Rishabh Dev here is mentioned, and in translation as well, we see how the marks of the bottom of his feet is there, and also in the translation, also in the purport. So Srila Prabhupada is focusing on the bodily features, just not like that. He's giving that to understand the Lord in full understanding through faith. One can have faith in the Shastras, and then from there, one can know the bona fide Lord, not the Lord who has come as cheap incarnation. Uh, most of the time these days we claim on that. And further down the line, we also read about possessing all opulences. So, what are his opulences? What are Lord's opulences? So, he's got 6 opulences. One is wealth. If we talk about wealth here and compare it to human being, wealth, strength, in the text it says 6 opulences: wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, fame, and renunciation. If someone has unlimited wealth, and how do we know or the Lord has unlimited wealth? Why I'm saying Krishna and the Lord, because the expansions of Krishna we are talking about here, and we are also talking including all the religions of the world, that in some form the Lord has come in all groups of society for them to know how Lord is all powerful, or how Lord holds all opulences in unlimited quantity and varieties. So if we talk about wealth, we see that in Brahma Samhita as well, Lakshmi Sahasra. So all the Lakshmis are actually massaging the Lord's feet, and and in this, where the Lord actually, I mean, where is the limit of wealth in this world? Even if someone who's got like unlimited wealth still is limited in his possessions, because he can't outdo the Lord. So, and Lord, for Lord, no one can outdo the Lord. So that is the unlimitedness of the Lord's wealth. In terms of strength, if somebody possesses wealth, strength, God is all powerful. He has all the strength in the world. How do we know that? From the, if we don't go much beyond, we just can go to Srimad Bhagavad Gita verses 10.8 to 10.11. 10.8, it says, I am the source of all incarnations. I am the source of everything. I am the source of everything emanating. So everything means he has the strength to hold that. Therefore, knowledge, uh, God knows everything. Like in Kshetra Gyan, or in chapters of Bhagavad Gita, we also see we know about ourselves. We don't even know about ourselves. What to know about others? We don't even know about ourselves fully. But God knows about ours, not only about Himself, about ourselves, but the other selves also. So which is so fascinating. And in terms of beauty and fame, there is no other comparison to God's or Lord's beauty, Krishna's beauty. And after all that, he's the most popular. Who does not know God? Who does not know Lord? He's known in different names like Krishna, Jesus, or the Lord, the Father, or Allah. And I may name so many, but everyone, he's very popular. He's popular in the 3 worlds, not just this world. So anyone who can have fame in the world, to be for a limited period of time, probably. As we all know that the fame, beauty, knowledge, strength, wealth, all these are only for, either it was in the past for living entities, or will be in the present, or will be in the future. One cannot hold it forever. And even if that individual living entity holds it for the past, present, and future, he still have to leave it because of the material nature that we all hold. So it is temporary then. And having all these 5, who has the capacity to renounce it? We can't renounce all these if we at all have, but only the Lord has the capacity of renouncing even after having all these. So, Rishabh Dev, it is said that although Rishabh Dev was endowed with all these opulences, he was not at all attached with material enjoyment. So, these are the uh, symptoms. These are the symptoms where we learn that Rishabh Dev is equal to God and equal to the Lord, but he's an expansion. He was not attached to material enjoyment and he was self-controlled and therefore liked by everyone. So understanding these, despite all, we are showing that there's this one thing that says he was equal to everyone. We have this tendency, or humans or living entities have this tendency that we have this intelligence that discriminates. He's rich, he's poor, and we can't be equal to everyone. So because of our material capacities that we have in our living or in our samskaras, we can't be equal to everyone. But Krishna, he has all these opulences, all the five opulences, plus the six of renunciation. He easily is very equal to everyone. This shows that God or the Lord or Krishna is relational. And the and what would we mean by relational? We mean by relational is he show even after all this, he's keeping all equality with every living entity. He's providing them. It's not like one day if we get upset at God, God stops us providing, or he frowns his face and does not look at us after all. So knowing these, this is such a beautiful way of uh, knowing the all wealthy, all strength, all knowledge, all beauty, all fame, and all renunciation. Lord is still equal. So we understand again, I'm emphasizing on this point that Krishna is relational. Um, we can read from we can read from the text of uh, Sri Chaitanya, the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I'll share the screen. It's such beautifully, it is said about the Lord. Is there anyone who's willing to read the lines from here? The supreme lover of Krishna. Okay, I can read then. The
Hare Krishna
supreme
Mataji.
lover is, oh, sorry, Prabhu. Sorry, would you want to read?
Yeah, Mataji, I can read it, no problem.
Yes, Prabhu.
The supreme lover is Krishna in Vrindavan, and the supreme beloved is Radha Rani. Krishna has 64 main qualities, and his devotees take transcendental pleasure in hearing of them. As explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the characteristics are as follows. His body is well constituted. His body is full auspicious symptoms. His body is beautiful. He is glorious. He is very strong. He is always looks like a boy of 16. He is well versed in various languages. He is truthful. He is decorated with pleasing words. He is expert in speaking. He is very learned. He is very intelligent. He is influential. He is joyful. He is cunning. He is expert. He is grateful. He is firmly convinced. He knows how to deal with different circumstances. He is always conversant with the spiritual injunctions. He is clean. He is controlled by his devotee. He is steady. He is self-controlled. He is forgiving. He is grave. He is self-satisfied. He is fair. His dealings. He is magnanimous. He is religious. He is great hero. He is merciful. He is respectful. He is competent. He is gentle. He is modest. He is protector of souls surrender unto him. He is a deliverer. He is friend of devotees. He is submissive to love. He is all auspicious. He is most powerful. He is famous. He is devoted to all living entities. He is worshipable by everyone. He is very attracted to all women. He is partial to his devotees. He is full of opulences. He is a supreme controller. He possesses all honor. These 50 qualities are fragmental present in every living entity. When human being is completely spiritually free and situated in his original condition, all these qualities can be perceived in him in minute, call it quantity. In Krishna, however, these exist in totality. There are 5 other transcendental qualities mentioned below, which can be seen in Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, and partially in Lord Shiva also, but they are not visible in ordinary living entity. These qualities are as follows. He is always situated in his original condition. He is omniscient. He is ever green or always fresh. He is eternally blissful. He is master of all perfection. Besides these 5 transcendental characteristics, there are 5 other which can be seen in the spiritual sky, especially in the Vaikuntha planets, where Narayana is predominantly a deity. These are he has inconceivable potencies. He is able to sustain innumerous universes. He is the seed of all incarnations. He grants the highest perfection to those enemies who kills. He is attracted to self-realized persons. And the above mentioned 60 qualities are visible in Narayana, but Krishna has 4 special qualities, which are he is been able to manifest wonderful pastime. He is expert at transcendental flute playing. He is surrounded by loving devotees. He possesses unparalleled personal beauty. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Mataji. Oh,
Hare
there.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
So from here we see Krishna's 64 qualities, and these 64 qualities are in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and these are the qualities mentioned by the Lord and through the scriptures. So in teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the difference between Narayana and Krishna. So Krishna possesses 4 special qualities, and under them there are 60 different qualities. And these 4 are only exclusively to Krishna only, that he's able to manifest wonderful pastimes. He's an expert in transcendental flute playing. He's surrounded by loving devotees, and he possesses unparalleled personal beauty. Now, if any human claims that he's omniscient, he's eternally blissful, or he's master of all perfections through siddhis, or even in Mahakumbha Mela that we may be very attracted to going, or we may see wonderful devotees or wonderful siddhas who had achieved um, some siddhis in their lives by doing some austerities, or reaching, like, they have this ability to move things by the movement of their hair or by their eyes. So these are siddhis. This does not mean that they are God. So to know God, one has to go through all the 64 qualities. And from these 64 qualities, there's nothing that matches any living entity. So in that case, we through the lens of Shastra, we can understand. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada's first sentence here was to see from the um, um, lens of the Shastra, lens of the scriptures. There's also one, he's complete and total. I'll go to I'll go to another evidence of Sri Ishopanishad's invocation. Om Purnam Adah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. So the Lord is complete in himself, and he's completely perfect, and he's complete. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he's completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped in complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So he loses nothing basically. He loses nothing. For us, we lose with the disconnection of from the Lord, we lose our own existence, even though we are complete, but we're not complete. So Srila Prabhupada here in the purport of the last section of purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that the completeness of human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. Another evidence which the Lord himself says, the Lord says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. The Lord mentions that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So however knowledgeable we become, however wealthy we become, however beautiful we become, how much strength we have in this whole world, and how much famous we become, it does not matter if we don't know where it is coming from. So I'll just go to the last section again from this. Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he's called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born from me. When the Lord himself is saying that I am the original source of all and everything is under me and no one is above me, therefore, there is no supreme controller other than Krishna. So when we understand Krishna in such a way, from a bona fide source, from a bona fide spiritual master, with references from Vedic literature, engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and become a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. So I will stop here and emphasize on today's learning of from the first sentence of our text, where Srila Prabhupada's instruction is quite clear for us that we should scrutinizingly and we should read the scriptures scrutinizingly under the bona fide instructions. So thank you very much. I'll give a halt here. If there is any comments or anything anyone wants to add, please feel free.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dhanava Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you for the nice class. Unpacking this first verse of the fourth chapter. Because there are so many bogus incarnations here, Srila Prabhupada lays out what are the symptoms, how we can know who is the bona fide incarnation. Way back in like 1986, my spiritual mother, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, gave a class about the qualities of the Lord. and he really smashed the bogus incarnation. So one of the incarnation symptoms you mentioned is the feet of the Lord. There's so many nice symbols when the Lord works. So if the Lord works like this, you can see the symbols, and then he's very beautiful. He's always youthful. So many nice qualities. So sometimes this, when you go out preaching, some people are praying to somebody else whom they regard incarnation. If you know these basic things, we don't have to say whether he's a bogus or not. We can say enumerate what you just mentioned, all these qualities, and people will understand themselves. So this is a very nice verse to for preaching purpose. We should know these
Yeah.
symbols of the Lord when it comes. So there's no, we can know who's a bogus, who's a bona fide. So thank you for bringing out this point, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Also, I found one very interesting point from your comment that so basically the purpose of preaching is to bring everyone to scriptures, basically, until we have because preaching, book distribution or anything of that sort, when we are sitting in the class as preaching, cooking, or whatever preaching activities we do, we often see that if we try hard, all of the practicing devotees, to try really hard for the ones to introduce the practicing to others. And how this practice is done, where Srila Prabhupada has given us this system of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, where this is very interesting to actually connect that even through preaching programs, we are encouraging everyone to read the scriptures and understand, and then in the association of devotees, discuss all those by serving the scriptures. So yes, surely Lord's qualities, forms, pastimes, and a relationship can be formed through scriptures. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Okay, if there's no one, then we can finish the session.
पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
राधा पद्मा माता जी की
जय। प्रभुपाद की जय।
और प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
Hare
बोल।
Hare.
All glories to assembled
Namaste,
devotees.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Have a
Have a
good
good
day,
day.
everyone.
Hare Krishna.